I met a gypsy.
The production wise, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the way that you guys captured audio. And so I know what it takes to do that. And that basically by Wes and the crew miking up everybody, they essentially signed themselves up for about 9 hours a night of going through audio, like just raw audio and
Yep.
It would have been a nightmare, dude. So the commitment level though, because that added so much, man. Like the genuine reactions, like they didn't have to wait. It's not like, hey, like just roll again on that. That shit was so gnarly. Like it was so immersive. So the cinematography, like the level that Wes took it to, like, man, it is. And then to turn around 3 20-minute episodes, so we're looking at an hour of content plus all the social media, like they're still there now editing. Well, actually, no, Wes just got back, but it's like they had, you know, like Will Posey, man, he didn't leave the fucking screen.
Yeah.
Like it is that's a documentary in itself, the production that goes into making that, and to be just bang, bang.
Oh yeah, that's there, dude. There's something to be said about that, man. Like I said, I've said it multiple times. There's so much work that people don't see that goes into it. These guys, like you mentioned, that's 10 hours of audio to go through in one day. Not only that, they have 10 hours of footage too. So there was a full media team. Yeah, in just one day, 1 hour session, one day, like has so much amount of footage. And there's one person pulling selects, one person kind of dropping them into a timeline, like building the story. Like these guys, like they were the unsung heroes. Like obviously you said Will Posey and B-Town and Luke Parmeter, like all these guys like behind the scenes coming in and just, you know, Chase Stallo, and they're building the story with them for them to edit it together, and like, you know, just unbelievable amount of work. These guys literally like 12 days straight of 20-hour days, literally getting 4 hours of sleep to get back and straight back to that edit bay, like this little trailer on site there by the course, all trash bags over all the windows, blacked out, just hammering content. And that was the thing, like people at home are like, oh, like, so the way we did the content rollout, we dropped the first build episode and then kind of let the hype build, right? So we were there over the week. We were letting the writers post their Instagram stuff and build the hype. And then as soon as it came down, like we finished Friday, the contest, and then the second episode came out on Tuesday, and then the third on Wednesday. So it built that hype, and then hit them with them both back to back. And I think it was really cool. But like you said, those guys, they needed that week in between to build 2 more 20-minute episodes. Like they're building full-on films, straight up, like with all that stuff and so many layers over this timeline. The
graphics over the top of it as well.
And everything, dude, just everything. And having to have everything done a day and a half early to go to Color and Sound and go to Keith White and do his whole color and sound correction and then get it back. And it's just like, there's something to be said about it. When I sat and I watched these episodes for the first time, like it straight up, dude, gave me chills. Like it just, you feel like you're there, the energy, the camaraderie, like it's, and you know, the media team, Wes and his whole crew, like they had so many cameras out there for comp day, and dude, it's just honestly a logistical and editing nightmare, but the dudes absolutely handled it. And like unsung heroes, bro, like how long that they sat there and grinded. And I stayed until Tuesday morning, and they were still there another 2 days after that, you know? So, man, there's so much involved into this, you know, because this whole thing, like I put into the writer's head, this is all about content. So being able to produce that content and have that rad of a team behind me, that driven, like I put so much time and effort into making this as best as I could, but I had the most badass media team behind me doing the exact same thing, putting their heart and soul into it. And the fact that they can come off, and they've filmed anything and everything when it comes to moto, and they come off and like, dude, you guys are making it easy on us. This is the most badass thing that I've ever filmed, straight up. So just to have that collective like response of, you know, fans, writers, peers, filmers, everyone on production, like, dude, we all left like speechless. Like there's no way in a million years that we would have ever thought that it went as smoothly as it did, you know. And to show that in film, and to be honest with you, with 12 riders, that many jumps, all that, you know how much footage hit the graveyard?
Oh,
so much.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, like, you know, but ultimately, like, we're learning, you know, we're learning as we go. And hopefully, you know, I know they're still working on it. You will see athlete runs just obviously clip back and forth between GoPro and like POV and FPV. So back and forth and kind of show the runs. I know obviously they're planning on doing the top 3, but I personally think all the riders need their own. We already have the footage, and it's obviously going to take a little more on the back end, and I'll do anything I can to help that, because, you know, these guys are out there risking their life. Obviously they got paid a little bit, but it was they're risking their life out there, so they deserve to have that their full run and be able to drop it on their socials. And for people to ultimately, it'll be cool to have 12 different runs and just show all the possibilities, because everyone's runs was so much different. And it was almost like Rampage, like you see that guy hit that, like you don't want to take his jump, right? So you'd have to figure out how to hit another jump and link it all together. So, you know, we started hitting some of the same lines and landing on the same jumps, and we kind of started to work together on some stuff, but then branched off other ways. And that's literally to the T exactly how Rampage is. These guys will get together, they'll build their features, they'll you know, each dig, there's an athlete, and you get 2 diggers, and then you get 75 sandbags per team. So guys will team up on a build of a big landing and share their sandbags, and all take both of their build crews and build it together to ultimately have one landing. But once they land off that jump, they both branch off different ways, you know?
Yeah.
So, dude, there's so many ways you can spin this, and so many things that you can continue to build on. But dude, ultimately, like this, from 1 to 2, it went so incredibly well, better than I could have ever imagined. And, you know, I'm glad it went as good as it did, and now it just is, that gets me that much more fired up on how to make it better and keep the wheels turning. You know, this is all a work in progress, and man, free riding is the most badass thing ever. So it's just got to keep it going.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform, or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.